All right, let's dive right in. We're going to break down the absolute core ideas that every single person in cybersecurity needs to know. Seriously, these are the foundations that everything else is built on, so let's get to it.
This quote right here, it just gets to the heart of everything. It used to be all about protecting the physical computers, the network itself. But now, it's all about protecting the value that lives on that network. Just think about it for a second. Your private health records, the code that runs an AI, your crypto wallet. That's what's really at stake today.
So, how do we actually protect all that valuable stuff? Well, it all boils down to this foundational concept called the CIA triad. And this isn't just some dusty guideline, it's more like the laws of physics for cybersecurity. Literally, every security measure you've ever seen is trying to balance these three principles.
The C in CIA is for confidentiality, and it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Keeping secrets secret. It's the fundamental promise that your private information can only be seen by the people and systems who are supposed to see it, no one else, period. And you see this in practice all the time. Think about those end-to-end encrypted messaging apps you use. That's confidentiality, making sure nobody can snoop on your conversations. Or when you see your credit card number online with most of the digits blacked out, that's a company using confidentiality to protect the value of your financial data. Next up, the I in the triad is integrity. This one is all about trust. How do you really know that the email you just got is exactly the one that was sent, or that the file you're about to download hasn't been messed with? Integrity is that guarantee. It's the thing that says your data is accurate and unchanged.
And believe me, the stakes for integrity are incredibly high. Imagine you're sending a friend $100. How does the bank make sure a hacker can't jump in the middle and change that amount to, say, $10,000? They use something called hashing. It creates a unique digital fingerprint of the original transaction. If even one tiny detail changes, that fingerprint no longer matches, and the whole system knows something's wrong. That's integrity protecting the truth. And finally, we have A for availability. This is probably the easiest one to get. Can you get to your stuff when you need it? It's that simple. If you can't access your cloud drive, or if your favorite streaming service goes down right before the season finale, that's an availability failure. In our world today, if it's not available, it might as well be broken.
So how do companies keep things available? Well, they build massive defenses against things like DDoS attacks, which are basically just digital traffic jams designed to crash a website. They also use what's called cloud redundancy. Think of it like having backup servers on standby, ready to take over instantly if one of them fails. Both are absolutely crucial for keeping services online, especially when things get busy, like during a huge online sale. Okay, so the CIA triad gives us our goals, right? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now let's talk about the AAA model, which tells us how we actually control who gets access to our systems in the first place. I like to think of it as a digital bouncer with a really strict three-step verification process.
And it follows a really logical flow. First up is authentication. That's like showing your ID to prove you are who you say you are. Once you're in, there's authorization. That's like a key card that only opens certain doors. It decides what you're actually allowed to see and do. And finally, you have accountability, which is like a network of security cameras recording every move you make, creating a permanent log of all your actions.
And that first step, authentication, is changing like crazy right now. Come on, we all know passwords are a total pain, and they're not even that secure. The future is moving toward things like passkeys and behavioral biometrics. And this stuff is fascinating. It's about verifying your identity based on your own unique patterns, like the rhythm of how you type or the specific way you swipe on your phone. It's security that actually understands you. So we have our goals with CIA and our access rules with AAA, but what's the big picture strategy? How do we even approach building our defenses? In cybersecurity, there are really two major schools of thought, and they have these great analogies: the onion and the secret agent. Okay, so the traditional approach was called defense in depth, the onion. You just have layers of security, right? A firewall, antivirus, whatever, and you just hope an attacker gets stopped by one of them. But the modern approach, the one that's now the industry standard, is called zero trust. This model just assumes the attackers are already inside your network. It acts like a secret agent that trusts nobody, and it's constantly verifying every single request for data, no matter where it's coming from. So how do we actually take all these big ideas, CIA, AAA, and the zero trust mindset, and apply them day to day? Well, it often boils down to two golden rules that guide pretty much every security decision a professional makes. The first rule is the principle of least privilege. Super simple idea. Only give people access to the absolute minimum information they need to do their job and nothing more.
The second is non-repudiation. It's a fancy term, but it just means you can't deny doing something. For example, when you digitally sign a document, it creates a cryptographically secure proof that it was you and only you who signed it. It's like an unbreakable digital handshake.
So, yeah, we've covered a lot of theory. But why does understanding all this stuff actually matter? This is the part that connects these concepts to real-world value. This is how you show you don't just know the terms, you know how to think like a pro. And this right here, this slide gets to the heart of it. Look, it's one thing to say confidentiality is about keeping things private. It's a completely different thing to say, I would implement confidentiality using AES 256 encryption to protect PII. PII is personally identifiable information, like your social security number. See the difference? You're connecting the big concept to a specific technology and a real-world problem. That's what demonstrates true understanding. So there you have it. We've seen this huge shift from just protecting networks to protecting what's truly valuable, our data. And the fundamentals, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, all wrapped up in a zero-trust mindset, those are the tools we use to do it. The digital world has a brand new set of rules, and the real question is, are you ready to help enforce them?